I never planned to touch the Empress of the Zarathi Dominion. No human in recorded history had ever touched her, not willingly, not accidentally, and lived to remember it. The Zarathi were an ancient species, older than most stars in our local arm, and their Empress was considered both ruler and living symbol. To them, physical contact with the Empress was not merely forbidden, it was unthinkable. And yet, somehow, my clumsy human reflexes changed the course of two civilizations. It began on the diplomatic station Helios Verge, a vast ring of alloy and light floating between human and Zarathi space. I was there as a junior xenolinguistic aide, the kind of role that existed mostly to fetch data pads, translate minor gestures, and stay very quiet. My name was Elias Crow, and I was so far down the hierarchy that no one bothered to warn me how close I would be standing to the most powerful being in the sector. The Empress arrived in silence. No announcement. No fanfare. One moment the air shimmered, and the next she was there. Tall, iridescent, her form wrapped in layers of living bioluminescent silk. Her eyes, 3 of them, arranged in a graceful arc, glowed with a depth that made my chest feel hollow, as if she were looking through time instead of at me. Every Zarathi present lowered themselves instantly, limbs folding in reverence. The humans followed suit, bowing awkwardly, some with hands clasped behind their backs as protocol demanded. I bowed too. That's when disaster struck. A tremor ran through the station. Later I'd learn it was a micro-adjustment of the station's gravity ring. My foot slipped. My balance went. Instinct took over. I reached out. My fingers brushed her arm. The contact lasted less than a second. The entire chamber froze. The Empress spun around with a speed that defied her elegant appearance, her silken robes flaring like solar wings. All 3 of her eyes locked onto me, burning brighter than the station lights. Guards moved. Weapons charged. I felt the pressure of alien minds snap toward me like blades. I was going to die. But the Empress didn't strike. She stared. Then, astonishingly, she tilted her head. A ripple passed through her skin, waves of color cascading across her form in patterns I didn't recognize. The chamber filled with a low harmonic hum, not from any device, but from her. "You felt me," she said, her voice resonating directly inside my mind. Not heard, received. Empress, I'm sorry," I stammered aloud, though my knees had already given out. "It was an accident." Her guards hesitated. "Accident," she repeated slowly, tasting the word. "You reacted without calculation, without permission, without fear." The colors along her arm, where I had touched her, shifted again, this time softer, warmer. "You are human," she said. "Yes," I whispered. "And yet," she continued, "your touch did not wound." That single sentence would be replayed across the Dominion for cycles to come. I was taken away immediately, not to an execution chamber, but to a holding suite that felt more like a sanctuary. No restraints, no interrogators, just quiet and the faint sense that something unseen was watching me. Hours passed. Then she came again, this time without guards. Up close, the Empress was even more overwhelming. Her presence pressed against my thoughts gently but insistently, like a tide testing the shore. "You do not understand what you did," she said. "I didn't mean to offend you," I replied. "In human culture, touching someone isn't always." "It is not offense I sense," she interrupted. "It is resonance." She raised the same arm I had touched and regarded it thoughtfully. "For 10,000 cycles, no being has made unshielded contact with me, not even my own kind. My form carries the burden of the Dominion's psychic weight. To touch me should fracture a lesser mind." I swallowed. But it didn't. No, she agreed. It did not. She circled me slowly, her footsteps silent. You reacted to imbalance, not to me. Your intent was stability. Yes, I said. I didn't want to fall. A faint, alien amusement brushed my thoughts. In doing so, she said, you anchored me. That was when I learned the truth. The Empress was not merely a ruler. She was a psychic conduit, constantly absorbing the fears, ambitions, and conflicts of her people. Her shields, physical and mental, were absolute. But in that unguarded instant, when I touched her without intent, without reverence or desire, something slipped through. Not power, not dominance. Human grounding. Over the following cycles, she summoned me again and again, always privately, always with careful distance, except for that one arm, which she no longer shielded when I was near. She asked me questions about humanity, about imperfection, about why humans allowed their leaders to be touched, criticized, even mocked. Because distance makes gods, I told her once, and closeness makes responsibility. She was quiet for a long time after that. The Dominion noticed the change before anyone else did. The Empress began issuing decrees that surprised her own high conclave. Borders softened. Military expansions halted. Dialogues replaced ultimatums. Whispers spread. The humans had corrupted her. Others said she was ill. A faction within the Zarathi court demanded investigation. They demanded me. The trial was held in the Hall of Stars, with billions watching across the Dominion. I stood alone on a platform of light, acutely aware of how fragile I was. You claim the human altered you, the conclave speaker accused. The Empress rose from her throne. No, she said. I claim the human reminded me. She turned to me then, and for the first time since that accident, she closed the distance completely. She extended her unshielded arm. The entire galaxy held its breath. Touch me, she said. I hesitated. Are you sure? I have never been more certain, she replied. I placed my hand against her arm, this time deliberately. Warmth spread outward, not overwhelming, but shared. The psychic hum shifted, softened, harmonized. The conclave recoiled as if struck. This is impossible, the speaker hissed. No, the Empress said. It is evolution. She faced her people. For ages, I have borne our unity alone. But unity enforced through isolation becomes stagnation. This human did not conquer me. He did not command me. He reminded me that balance requires connection. She stepped down from the throne. I will no longer rule above you, she declared. I will rule with you. The conclave dissolved that day. The Dominion changed. And I was offered a place beside her, not as consort, not as subject, but as something unprecedented, a living bridge between species. Years later, as I stand on the observation deck of a shared human Zarathi station, I sometimes think back to that moment. The slip, the accidental touch, the spin that shocked everyone. The Empress stands beside me now, her presence no longer distant or untouchable. Do you regret it? She asks softly, her thoughts brushing mine. Every day, I say honestly. She laughs, a sound like starlight breaking. And yet, she says, placing her arm where my hand can reach it easily, you would do it again. I smile. Yes, I say, without hesitation. And this time, when I touch her, the galaxy doesn't freeze. It breathes.